On June 29th, we have a Capricorn full moon at 8 degrees of Capricorn in your chart. And this is always a checking in point on how this year is unfolding for you based on your goals and intentions from the new year, from early January. And because this year has been so fast moving and dynamic, this is a full moon to intentionally stop and tune in to what you are investing in and whether it still aligns with what you want based on everything that has been unfolding in this year. And so this is important because it feels like there are some realizations that what you thought this year would be is turning out to be very different. There also is the astrological aspects in place here of this full moon at 8 degrees of Capricorn squaring both Neptune in Aries at 4 degrees and Saturn in Aries at 14 degrees. That means there are two squares to the Aries energies that are holding the intention of a new chapter, a new life, a new self-identity, new parts of yourself that you are learning about, understanding, and integrating. And when we have a full moon that is squaring these two planets in Aries, there's a checking in point here that's meant to be taken seriously. The full moon in Capricorn is serious. It observes, it's slow moving. It assesses what is worth my time, what's going to pay off, what's worth it. This is where you also develop your goals, your achievements, what you want to accomplish, what you are putting effort into that will pay off, especially over time. And as these energies interact here, the full moon squaring the two planets in Aries, there's a reassessment that is occurring that could be surprising, that could be showing you've put energy into something that you no longer want. I'm hearing retirement. I'm feeling like some people could be seeing, well, what do I need to retire from? What am I no longer wanting to accomplish or invest in? This doesn't mean an official retirement. It could mean that you're ready to move away from something that you thought was really worthwhile. And it has been in your life, but it's part of this changing of the chapters, the turning of the wheel. There's something here that you might be understanding. I've done what I can with this. It's run its course. I don't want it anymore. It's not working. It's not connected to the new endeavors or new parts of myself that are coming alive. And so with this energy, not only is that full moon in Capricorn squaring Saturn and Neptune, but the sun in Cancer is as well. And so this can bring us into how we feel about it, because that sun in Cancer relates to your emotional world, your internal feelings, your home base, family, your foundation, where you go at the end of the day, where you want to exhale and take a break. And there could be areas of your life that you're reconfiguring now. And you might even feel a little stuck, emotionally drained. I mean, I'm feeling like a heaviness can show up here. Like this isn't what I thought it was going to be, or I thought this would look different. And you feel it personally, which is part of the sun's journey through Cancer, where we really listen more intentionally to our feelings and what we've even emotionally accumulated to determine, is this mine? Is this not mine? Is this something in the present moment? Is this related to the past, like last week, last month, last year? So we're tuning in with our emotional world and what we're holding. We're stopping to assess, what am I doing and is it paying off? And the square to the planets in Aries are saying, make room in your life for the new chapters that are happening, even though and even if they disrupt your best laid plans and what you thought would be important this year. change of priorities, shifting of goals. There can be disappointment here. That's part of the square to Saturn. Saturn's moving very slowly and will remain at 14 degrees of Aries until it stations retrograde in about a month, the end of July. Neptune is hanging out at 4 degrees of Aries. And so you could even have a sense of, let me stop and be in my body, listening to what I feel. That's the sun in Cancer. Knowing that a new part of my experience is here and is going to continue to be built. It's going to continue to develop. That's part of these outer planets in Aries. This is much bigger than us. This is something that your soul signed up for, to start anew and to begin in this chapter. And so the old ways, the tried and true, what you thought would always work, isn't going to be as rewarding or pay off. And I feel that this is a full moon that's going to make it more evident to you of what you need to step away from or move away from. It's interesting though, because I'm feeling like there's also meant to be a recognition of what you have achieved and what you've learned along the way, so that it's not about being hard on yourself, which that moon in Capricorn can do. It can be very tough. Like, I got to keep going. I got to keep working. I got to be more productive. I haven't hit that goal. I haven't done this yet. And there's something about the full moon here that actually is inviting you into more softness and tenderness than that full moon in Capricorn is comfortable with. Now, not only is the full moon happening on June 29th, but we also have this Mercury stationing retrograde at 26 degrees of Cancer, conjunct Jupiter on the same day. So it's bringing up a lot more emotions and even a lot more, it's almost like this energy of feeling you're at capacity and maybe not wanting to acknowledge it. Maybe even sensing like how much you've accumulated, how much you've been taking on and holding and carrying. And this is a full moon that wants us to stop and pause and look at what you have accumulated and what you're carrying. And I'm seeing a release valve of maybe it's not all yours to hold. This is where we have to be very responsible with what we are energetically allowing in. And the Capricorn full moon can bring you boundaries around your daily life. And it could be interesting because you might realize where the energy has become maybe more burdensome and heavy, like slowly, and you didn't realize, it was gathering, and it's after a while you realize, oh my gosh, this is like a giant water balloon that needs to burst. And that could be something with this full moon where there are bursts of emotion, bursts of energy being spilled. The cup runneth over, but because it's been overwhelmed and it's been holding too much and containing it. So check in on your personal container and look at maybe what you thought you were doing for others, what you thought you were offering or carrying. And I feel like this is a full moon that's going to highlight what's yours and what isn't yours. And to be okay with allowing it to, instead of an outburst or a bursting of emotion, there can be a slow release, right? Like there can be a slow, steady flow that moves the energy without it being some big dramatic event or some huge emotional breakdown or emotional collapse. I mean, you've got a lot of energies here in Cancer that will hold it in. And so you are going to see people having their strong emotional responses to things. But the full moon here in Capricorn is going to support with assessing. That's not my responsibility. That's not mine to take on or handle. That's not mine. And maybe that is something to also look at in your own life, is how well you practice that regularly. So it's quite an interesting Capricorn full moon. I have a separate chart for you here on YouTube going through more of the specifics in the astrology chart, discussing more of the themes and energetics at play. But I want to do this video, of course, to offer you a bit more to consider, or to see if this is what's showing up in your own life, and to know that this is a full moon that can redirect you onto a truer path. Redirect you into what does matter in the second half of 2026. And maybe that is something to look at, because here we are in the middle of the year. How do you want to end the year? Now I say that, and then a part of me is like, with things happening so rapidly and changing so quickly, there's a part of us that knows we can't plan it all. And the best laid plans, right, never really show up or follow through. But this is actually looking at, okay, by the time we get to the end of this year and we're into 2027, what's going to matter to you? What's essential? And as you direct your energy towards that, you might be surprised at what then shows up to support you with what you're building that is long term. And that's the best use of Capricorn energy, where you're able to be strategic in your goal setting. You're aware of what's working and what's not. And if something isn't working, you're going to know here at the end of June into July, this is not paying off. This is not worth it anymore. And then you might be surprised at the redirect and what comes through next, that you're realizing this is the way to go. This is where my energy is put to better use. So thank you for joining me for this video. We are about to enter July, a very dynamic month with a lot of big astrology. So I'll be back discussing more about that, but wishing you a beautiful Capricorn full moon and hoping that it delivers some important insights.